All right, let's get some analysis. Ulrich Brueckner is a Jean Monnet Professor of European Studies at Stanford University in Berlin. He joins us live now from Washington. Ulrich, good to have you on the show. Do you think that the European Union sees or will see the irony here? Because they seem to be okay with these migrants and asylum seekers leaving the European Union, but they don't display the same attitude when they're trying to reach the bloc from other countries.
Well, what we see is clearly connected to Britain leaving the European Union. So it's a Brexit side effect because it allows smugglers to use the new situation between the European Union and Britain of not having an institutionalized dialogue. And what we just heard from Johnson and Macron was just ad hoc fixing the most pressing problems without thinking about an integrated migration policy. And this is something that can be exploited by organized criminals. And the consequence, what we see, is the humanitarian tragedy in the Channel when people die.
Okay, so obviously there's Brexit undertones there. I'll get to that in a bit, but the UK's Home Secretary, Priti Patel, just said that she said that people should claim asylum in the first country reached. No one needs to leave France in order to feel safe. Does she have a point?
Well, he has a point, and that used to be the framework that we refer to as the Dublin Agreement, in which Britain benefits from its location, that others do the dirty work in protecting borders and organizing a humanitarian procedure for people in need, which all the countries have signed up. But Britain left. And so pointing towards an institutionalized framework that is no longer in the interest of a country that rather wants to run its own system and wants to have back control, as the slogan was in the Brexit campaign, clearly shows that this is the background of this humanitarian tragedy.
French fishermen are planning to block ferry traffic into 3 particular Channel ports on Friday, as well as movement of goods through the tunnel. It seems that this post-Brexit, or the ripples of this post-Brexit bitterness is expanding.
It is, and it's also very attractive for populists on both sides to exploit the new situation. And it also highlights the absurdity of believing that pressing problems of the 21st century can be fixed by A, nationalist solutions, and B, simplified solutions by just protecting a border and then you pretending that problems outside of your country don't exist, that none of this is sufficient. So it all asks for multilateral solutions, and multilateral solutions could be arranged within a system that cuts down the complexity to portions that can be digested institutionally. But Britain said it's not going to do it. We see a similar response in Poland that also follows a more nationalist approach when it comes how to deal with the migration situation with Belarus. And the only conclusion for this is that we get our act together and we find integrated solutions and not just picking either a restrictive ones like building a wall or protecting borders and then the problem is gone, or thinking that an overly humanitarian approach, let everyone come, sending a signal that also can be exploited by traffickers.
That's a good point you make. All right, Ulrich Brueckner, thank you very much for coming on. I do appreciate your analysis.